There we are. Hello, hello. That took an awfully long time. Primarily because I think my laptop somehow realized that I was planning on dumping it and building a PC. So it took an awfully long time to just start and then run OBS. I'm not even sure if it's going to function properly still, but let's see. All right. Okay, so here's how this is going to go down, right? I'm going to start with creating a bootable disk for Windows 11 bootable USB. Right, I think Microsoft has a tool that allows us to do that, so that we're going to start there. Oh my god, it's running so slow. Come on, mate. Did you guys see this? Alright, for the uninitiated, I'm streaming literally out of just the laptop for now. But I'm going to explain to you guys what the plan is. Alright, so I'm going to install or create this bootable USB disk. Then I'm going to start adding hardware components to my laptop, namely a keyboard, mouse, and a webcam. Or mostly just a webcam, because I need the rest of my desk to actually be free so that I can actually start assembling the PC. Okay, so the best option on the device you're currently using, I don't want to do that. Clean install on new or used PC. Use this option to download the media creation tool to create a bootable USB or DVD. Alright, so that's probably the one we need to go for. There's also a before you begin section. I should probably have looked at that. Where's PPT have? Okay, never mind. Media creation tool is good enough. Before you begin, you need a license to install Windows 11 or have an instant device. Make sure you have an internet connection, sufficient data storage available on computer, USB or external device, a blank deleted disk. If you receive a disk image file is too loud message. Okay, ensure PC has a 64-bit CPU, can only run on 64-bit CPUs. I should probably check that, right? Alright, with that we reveal the processor. Hey, Pump4006, what's up? New PC, that's right. I've gotten all the components right here. Alright, so what I have is this one. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm not holding it the right place. Let me see if I can switch to a different window. Yeah, that's the one. So we have an i7 13th gen. Wait, so how do I find out if this is a 64-bit one? Intel, yes. I was considering going for AMD, but I don't know enough to do in detail research, so I decided to stick around with Intel. But how do I find out if this one is actually 64-bit? It should mention that somewhere, right? Alright, so the page we were at, the Microsoft page, says that we need to make sure that our new PC is 64-bit because Windows 11 can only run on 64-bit CPUs. What does it mean, go to settings system? graphics card. What I have is I haven't unboxed it yet, like the entire shipment. But what I'm planning to put in is going to be 4070 Ti. Okay. Let me figure out how to understand. Yeah, so it's an RTX 4070 Ti, 12 GB. Okay. Create instruction for ARM-based PCs. You should wait until you have notified Windows update. The upgrade is ready for your PC. Okay. Okay. Right. So I have some information here. $4070, holy moly. How much it is? How much did it cost me? I think it costed me almost, like I purchased it in dirhams, so I think it costed me almost 3,000 or something like that. Yeah, so, yep, 3,500 dirhams. So that's gonna be, if I convert it in INR, that's almost 78,000 INR. Okay, well, what I'm getting stuck at though is figuring out or making sure that this is a 64-bit processor. It should be, right? So what I have is i7 13700K. Do you also get a 32-bit variant in this one? Yeah, so it is 64-bit then. All right, that settles that. You can run any program with that, like, yeah. Hopefully I'm gonna use it, for more than just playing Dota. Okay, so I have the tool. Let's get the basic idea behind getting that graphics card was also process not dependent on bit. Yeah, I know, but I want to install Windows 11, and that apparently can only be installed on 64-bit CPUs. So the idea behind getting that graphics card was also that I didn't want to upgrade it anytime soon, so hopefully that's gonna last me for some time. Even processor does not depend on bit. It supports all 64 and 86. All right, good to know. Cool. Okay. Where's the tool? Why doesn't it open? Let me switch to display capture on the screen. Turn this off. Oh my god, this PC runs so slow. How much RAM? So the RAM's gonna be 32. 32, right? I did order 32. Yep, 32. 2 into 16 GB. Okay, I'm not sure why this is not running. Does it open in the tray. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna switch this off, the display capture off for a bit, just to make sure I can figure this shit out. Okay, let's see. If I go here, maybe I'll just re-download it because it looks like it's not downloaded properly. Save, replace. There we go. Please open. SMPS, how much watt? You mean the power supply? That's 850, right? How much did I end up getting? Yeah, 850. Alright, so we go here. Okay, it works now. Cool, I can switch to display capture mode again. Yeah, so the estimated wattage of all the components that I entered was around 680 or 700, so I figured 850 would be good enough. Okay, what do we have here? Give me just a second. Cool. Motherboard, which company? I'm gonna have to check that as well. I ordered these components for quite a while ago. So the motherboard is ASRock. Yeah, ASRock Z790. That's the Sonic edition. Wait, where's my media creation tool? Okay. Blah 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 blah. Accept. Alright, so what else? So we talked about motherboard, we talked about RAM, PSU. Alright, I'm gonna have a 2 TB SSD. I'm gonna have deep cools, liquid cooling, and yeah, an i7 13th gen processor. So yeah, that's basically the build that we're going for. Alright, don't use the recommended options for this PC, please. What we want is Windows 11, language is fine, USB flash drive, that's okay, this one is okay. Alright, I wonder how long it will take. No matter however long it takes, soon Dota to 4K stream incoming. Yeah, so the idea is I'm gonna use this laptop to stream going forward anyway, and I'm gonna have a 2 PC streaming setup. So I'm gonna play on this one, on the new one, and then I'm gonna use this one strictly for just streaming. I think more importantly, I want to be able to play some highly demanding games as well, like stuff that I couldn't have played on this PC, or I was forced to play on super pixelated resolutions before. Oh, this is going pretty slow. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start unboxing a couple of things. When I at least set up my webcam in the meantime. All right, so I'm gonna switch to this. We're gonna go to the just chatting window, and then I'm gonna get my webcam. All right, here it is. Not a new component, I already had this one, so but I haven't had the chance to use it for last 3 months, so I'm still excited. Okay, so you assembled PC before or first time? It's first time, never before. So I'm gonna take a lot of help from you, from any other chatter who joins, and the internet in general. Okay, so there's the tripod, and then I can open it from here. I think I'm gonna set it up on the tripod for now because that'll allow me to capture the entire PC building activity better. Wait, how does this come out? All right, I got it. Is it not? It is working. Okay. I recommend watch Bitwit video best. I did same. All right, thanks, man. I'll check that out. Okay, so let's see. If I set it up over here, okay, that's not supposed to happen. Stay. And then if I just plug this in. Wait, what did you type? I don't know why my moderation, auto moderation is picking that up as censored. Okay, and then we just switch the webcam, right? Even Superman actor Henry Cavill watch first build PC. Okay. So you are saying he also used Bitwit video for building his PC? Where's my webcam option? Oh, really? I didn't know that. All right, I'll probably check that out. If I can just figure out where I parked my webcam. It must be this one. All right, so we just click on that. Then we switch to my C922 webcam. Yep, that's the one. There we are. Much better quality. Okay, that works. I send link DM, you can check. All right, thanks, man. Okay, you sent it to me on Twitch. Yep, I got it. Alright, I just hope it remembers my settings. I don't have to configure this video again. Alright, we're gonna make do with this one for now. Okay. So that does that. I'm gonna pull that up. Because it just sounds like a really good idea to watch the video first. Alright, come on, load. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna switch to a different screen. He did AMD build. Interesting. So Superman prefers AMD then. Oh my god, this thing is slow. Alright, but it gives me time to check out the video, so it's fine. How to build PC step by step. Holy shit, this laptop is running extremely slow today. Alright, let's subscribe to Bitwit. I hope it's not a 36-second video. Okay, there we go. 55 minutes, holy shit. That's a really long video.
Oh, hey, Chris. How was the colonoscopy?
Oh, brutal, man. I don't know, something snapped off and it's just hurting.
Yikes. Sorry about that. Hey, you know how some dogs sort of look like their owners? What if case makers shared the same traits as their cases?
That's ridiculous.
No, it
Basic
kind of
PC
works,
build?
right? I mean, because like the Pure Base 600 is cool, right? And you're arguably cool, right? The case is super cool.
Support a 360.
For 360 radiators. Click the link in the description.
Alright,
And assemble it almost in real time as you watch me build mine. And so this is really just to help those of you who are maybe new to PC building, if it's your first time, or if you just need a refresher
That might
on how to
work.
assemble this stuff. So hopefully that makes sense, and it's going to be a lengthier video because of that. It's just more of a casual and relaxed environment to teach users or new users how to build a PC. I will say that even if you're not building a Ryzen system,
okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check this one out. As I start building and assembling my components together. But let's hear what he has to say in the meantime.
So I'm building an AMD Ryzen PC. Even if you're building an Intel-based computer, you can still apply 95% of what I'm going to be doing today to your system. It doesn't really matter. The only real difference is
Custom tools.
so you can see that I've taken the CPU somewhat out of its packaging. You want to make sure not to touch it unless you absolutely have to, so it's still sort of in a little box for now. But I've also removed the motherboard from its anti-static sleeve. And you'll notice that there's a bunch of other stuff on this table. I'm going to go over everything. But when you take your motherboard out of its box, you want to also take out a few important accessories along with it so that they're just on hand when you're ready for them. The first of which is your motherboard I/O shield, and we're going to see what this exactly is for in just a bit, as well as your SATA cables. I would take out a number of SATA cables equivalent to the number of 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives that you'll be connecting to your system. So in our instance, we've got 2 drives, one SSD and one mechanical hard drive. So I've actually pulled out all 4 of the cables since they come connected. But you can take those out as well. And then your motherboard manual. So this is the Tomahawk manual. You might need to consult it at some point. And then the other stuff on here, these are just sort of like tools that I use when building a computer. The only one you absolutely need, well, let me get the CPU out of here. That's not a tool, really. So we've got the one you really need is a screwdriver. You need a Phillips head screwdriver. This is a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Any sort of length will do, but I generally prefer a slightly longer one. Woohoo! Just makes it a little bit easy when screwing in screws and stuff.
Okay.
But magnetic tip also helps a lot. Not required, but definitely appreciated. Makes things a bit easier.
Whatever.
And then we've also got some cable management accessories here. So zip ties. Generally, there's at least one or 2 components in your
Alright, so we don't
build
need
that will come with
because I
zip
already
ties, but they're
have a
usually
table
very
that
few
has
of
some
them,
cable
and they're
management,
not like the right length, or they're too cheap and
attachments
stuff
to
like
it.
that. So I have my own on hand. Again, this is, and then I've got some Velcro ties in case I need them, and then of course some wire
Then we're gonna
cutters
start with the
to
motherboard
cut.
setup. Okay, we're gonna get to that when we actually start assembling the PC. PC building steps. Let's do some reading in the meantime, right? Because that doesn't have to be done in real time. Alright, what do these guys say? Prepare the PC case, strip the case down, remove every panel, store them in a safe place, install the fans. Alright, so these guys are starting from the fans instead. I don't have any extra cooling fans. I do have liquid cooling though, so I'll have to make sure that one of that fan goes somewhere. Try to keep your cooling setup balanced so that there's as much air being drawn in as it is being blown out. In case you're not sure which way the wind will go, the plastic fan guards usually denote where the air will come through. Typically, you want 2 fans in the front drawing air in and at least 1 in the rear blowing air out. You could also screw 1 or 2 more optional fans into the roof of the PC case for additional exhaust if your PC case has mounting points for them. I think mine does, but I don't have any extra fans right now. And then it starts with the motherboard. Okay. Check if the case has a large CPU cutout or window cut into the back of the motherboard frame. Okay, check for pre-installed motherboard standoffs. Ensure the number on the invent of them conforms to the holes found on your motherboard. Okay, so this is like really detailed stuff that we're going to get into once we have the operating system bit sorted. But this is taking awfully long time. Can I just start then? I guess I could just start in the meantime. Alright, so let's follow the Bitbit one then. This definitely feels like the guy knows what he's doing.
The zip ties and stuff. A pair of scissors also works just as fine.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to a different window. I'm gonna actually add a quick scene here real quick. What about this one? Yeah, this works. Let's create a copy of. Didn't mean for that one. Can I not duplicate this? duplicate, and we're going to call it full screen camera. And then on this one, we're going to hide this. We're going to take the webcam, move this up, further, right here. Okay, and we're gonna move it so that it sits. Whoa, that's too big. Maybe just put it in the center then. Yeah, that sounds good. Over here. Okay, let's listen to the guy.
Fine. Don't use a knife. That can be dangerous. So those are the things that we are going to be using.
All right, so he suggested that we should start with the CPU, take it out. I'm going to park my camera right over here. Or maybe I should just put it here. I don't want to accidentally knock it down. But I also need it to be placed in a way that it captures a little bit of what I'm doing. Maybe I'll just put it over here. There we go. Okay, so that seems about good. Okay. So I've got the CPU right here. Actually, let me just quickly adjust this a little bit. That's not the one we want. Oops. Oopsie daisy, I messed it up. Okay, so we're gonna use not this one. Come on, mate. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna move my webcam to the side. I'm gonna take the chat box, move it over here. I hope this doesn't affect the other one. Okay, it doesn't. Cool. And in this one, we're gonna add a display capture. Come on. Display capture. Let's add the existing one, I guess. Yeah, we can just add the existing one. There we go. Come on. Why doesn't it work? Okay, I didn't select it. Ooh, spooky. Okay, let me fix that. This one's gonna sit right over here. Yep. Now I can go back to the video. All right, here we go. All right, let me pull up my stream on my phone real quick just so I can ensure that the camera is set up properly. So far this seems okay. I'm gonna park my phone right over here so I can keep seeing it whenever I need to. Okay. Now, ideally, I'm also supposed to make sure that the surface is, the surface is fairly clean. That's fine. But maybe it would make sense to put a piece of clothing on top of it. Do we have something? Like something which will just be this big, like a mat type of a situation. We have mats? That's probably too, but I can use both of them together. Doesn't have to be a cloth, just to make sure that there's no scratching, etc. happening. Oh, you meant the wooden one? Even this might scratch, yeah. Thank you. All right, we wait for the mat and we wait for the media creation tool. Oops, oopsie daisy. That's not what we wanted to do. All right, so that stays there.
What I'm going to suggest is that you grab your CPU, aka your desktop processor, and your main board or your motherboard.
Okay, so here's the CPU. Yeah, this should be good. Give. No, I'm not going to be working with many components at the same time. Right. And this is the ASRock Z790PG Sonic Edition motherboard. Cool. Let's see what we're supposed to do next.
Board, because that's generally where I like to start in a given build. So let's start there. All right, y'all. So you can see that I've taken the CPU somewhat out of its packaging. You want to make sure not to touch it unless you absolutely have to. So it's still sort of in a little box for now. But I've also removed the motherboard
comes out of its packaging. Oh, so what he's using, the mat that he's using is basically an anti-static mat. This might create static. I don't know what's anti-static. Should I just do it on the wooden desk instead? Sorry. Yeah, I guess. Let's move this. Well, I can use the other side. That's smoother. Yeah. Oops. We're okay. I will just move this a little bit. That should be fine as long as I don't move these mats drastically. Okay, let's start with taking the CPU a little bit out of its packaging. That's a really tiny CPU. Okay, so I'm supposed to do this and this, and then lift this up completely. There we go. That's the CPU. Alright, so I have my CPU ready. What else?
Sleeve.
The motherboard. Do I need the... Okay, we'll get back to that if we need. Thank you. Alright, heavy ass motherboard. I'm a little surprised that the box is not sealed. And it just opens. Maybe the inner one is. Okay, come on. There we go. And even the inner one is not fully sealed, but maybe the plastic packaging is. Yeah, it is. Okay, they gave me a new one. Okay, so that's the motherboard.
And you'll notice that there's a bunch of other stuff on this table. I'm going to go over everything. But when you take your motherboard out of its box, you want to also take out a few important accessories along with it so that they're just on hand when you're ready for them. The first of which is your motherboard I/O shield, and we're going to see what this exactly is for in just a bit. As well as your SATA cables. I would take out a number of SATA cables equivalent to the number of 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives that you'll be connecting to your system. So in our instance, we've got two drives, one SSD and one mechanical hard drive. So I've actually pulled out all four of the cables since they come connected. But you can take those out as well. And then your motherboard manual. So this is the Tomahawk manual. You might need to consult it at some point. And then the other stuff on here, these are just sort of like tools that I use when building a computer. The only one you absolutely need, well, let me get the CPU out of here. That's not a tool, really. So we've got our...
It paused. No, Firefox crashed. Yeah. I don't know if I can show this effectively on the camera.
Lift the camera. No, lift the camera. Lift the camera.
You see this?
No.
They did see this. It was visible.
Do this.
No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. Okay, never mind. My idea was better.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's fine. Okay, where are we in the media creation tool? 94%. Okay. Firefox is installing updates in the middle of me watching a video. Great. Anyway, I have the motherboard, I have the CPU, I have the screwdriver. Okay, and what else? Did the motherboard come with any manual or something? Is there something under this? Yep. Okay, so also inside the box are SATA cables, which makes sense, and velcros for cable management. And then we have these screws, like one screw per packet, a pouch, if you are British. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 screws. What appears to be a sticker. Okay. Don't need that right now, but maybe we will put it on. I guess they want us, the idea is to put it on top of the case. And the giant, not too big actually, but the user manual. Chapter 1, Introduction. It was a cold, dark night. What? Alrighty, can we resume? I'm running my stream on the phone. But once the PC is built, I will not have to, manage it that way. Okay, so this supports 13th gen and 12th gen Intel Core processors, which is good because I bought a 13th gen processor. Okay. It has 4 DDR5 slots. I need only 2. Maximum capacity of system memory is 128 GB. I am planning only 32 GB, so that's good. Expansion slot. There's one PCIe 5.0, there's one PCIe 4.0, there's one PCIe 3.0. Okay, graphics. It comes with Intel UHD graphics built-in visuals, and VGA outputs can be supported only with processors which are GPU integrated. Okay, audio has the Realtek 7.1 channel audio codec. Okay, irrelevant. Cool. This is just a compatibility situation. There's a layout image. All right. Wait, why is it taking so long? That's what she said. Okay, so then there's the input-output panel, and then we get to installation. Precautions: make sure you unplug the power cord before installing or removing the motherboard components. In order to avoid damage from static electricity to motherboard's components, never place your motherboard directly on a carpet. Also remember to use a grounded wrist wrap or touch a safety grounded object before you handle the components. Should I just be barefoot for this? For grounding. Hold components by the edges and do not touch the ICs. Could have told me that before, but okay. I mean, this could have told me that before. Okay. Here we are.
As well as your SATA cables, I would take out a number of SATA cables equivalent to the number of 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives that you'll be connecting to your system. So in our instance, we've got 2 drives, one SSD and one mechanical hard drive. So I've actually pulled out all 4 of the cables since they come connected. But you can take those out as well, and then your motherboard manual.
Cool. Let's start.
Well,
USB
let me get
flash
the
drive
CPU
is
out of
ready.
here. That's not a tool, really. So we've got the one you really need is a screwdriver. You need a Phillips head screwdriver. This is a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Any sort of length will do, but I generally prefer a slightly longer one. Woohoo! Just to makes it a little bit easy when screwing in screws and stuff. But magnetic tip also helps a lot. Not required, but definitely appreciated. Makes things a bit easier. And then we've also got some cable management accessories here.
We
So
can
zip
skip
ties.
past the cable management accessories. Let's get to it.
To cheap and stuff like that. So I have my own on for the cable management part, and then I've got some Velcro ties.
Get to it, mate. I don't know why I'm Australian, but
Note, we can actually install our CPU.
okay. Cool. Let's start.
Don't use a knife, that could be dangerous. So those are the things that we are going to be using for
I'm
this
gonna
build.
Probably
And
take this
on that
out.
note,
Wait. This thing is zip tied to the thermocol casing. So I need to cut it out. We'll get to it when we need to access the zip tied parts, I guess, right? Let's start installing as it is. Okay.
we can actually install our CPU. All right, so here's a close-up look at our CPU socket. And this is basically where the CPU gets physically mounted or
CPU
inserted
socket
on the
in
motherboard.
this one, by the way, is different. It's hidden. And what I need to do is I need to pull this. I hope I'm doing this right. And then pull this up. No? Wait, do I need to unscrew this or something? No? Okay, I push it. And then it gets lifted. Okay, cool. Challenge 1 completed. And then this thing gets lifted. And then you just place the CPU, I guess.
And this one in particular is the AM4
Doesn't
socket.
the CPU
AM4
require
is
gluing
only
or some shit?
compatible with AMD Ryzen CPUs, at least at the time of filming. So don't bother putting in a non-Ryzen AMD chip or an Intel chip, God forbid. Bad things will happen if you do. So just stick to Ryzen for AM4 and you'll be good to go. So if you are building an Intel rig right now, I would suggest going to some sort of tutorial. Maybe I'll link one. I'll put a card somewhere if I can find a good tutorial on how to do that on the Intel platform. But for ZIF
Okay.
sockets
So
for
what needs to
Ryzen,
happen now?
it's really quite simple. All you do is lift up this bar here. There's a little bar that's
CPU
got a little latch. You kind of got to push
goes
it to the
in.
side a little bit and then lift it up like so. And then get your CPU out. I will remind you guys not to leave any fingerprints on your CPU, particularly on the top. You don't want to touch this top heat spreader here. That's a no-no. You want to grab it from the sides. So here's the CPU. All right, you can grab the edges.
CPU goes in
Edges
this
are
way.
fine. Also, do not
And grab it
touch
only by the edges.
golden contacts, the golden
Not
pins,
touch the
I
golden
should say,
pins. Okay.
on the bottom. All right, that's a no-no as well. That's very important. You want to keep that as clean as possible. The way you want to do this now is you want to take note of the golden triangle. There's a golden triangle on one of the corners of the CPU. And you want to match that with the small, tiny-ass triangle in the corner of the socket. You can see there's a tiny little corner, or I'm sorry, yeah, a little arrow right in the corner
Right.
there.
Can I
That's
use
going to match up
your
with the
phone's
gold
flashlight?
arrow on your CPU. So the way you want to do this, that's
Ooh, that's handy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can attach it to my desk. Right there. Ooh, that's bright. But good, good. Alright, I see the triangle. Oh no, this is fine. I mean, I think I'm still visible. Like on stream. Oh, I am very blue. Okay, so this is the triangle side, and I would imagine this is the triangle side. I hope I'm not seeing things. Okay, this light is a little too bright. Do you want to appear on stream and help me locate the triangle? What's this thing? Oh, these things get hot. These lights get a little hot. The spots where the lights are on the lamp. Yeah, it's just plug in and then your world is lit up. This is the corner with a triangle on it, no? That's the only confirmation I need, because
Which one?
this, where I lost it again. This triangle
Hmm.
is supposed to match with the corner that has a triangle in this.
Where do you see a triangle?
I think this corner,
Oh yeah, that's a triangle.
right? So that means I need to match that side
The
with this
triangle
side.
that goes this way, right?
Yeah.
The white color. Tiny
Yeah, I think
triangle.
so. No, it's fine. Okay, let's give it a shot. So we're supposed to open this, not hold it from the sides, not hold it from the golden pin side. Hold it only from the edges.
going to match up with the gold arrow on your CPU. So the way you want to do this is grab it with one hand, one finger on each side. I use my thumb and my index, and you just go straight down into the socket. You'll notice that the pins, you have pins on the bottom and you have pin holes in the socket. So obviously you're going to be slotting all those pins into all those holes, and it should just drop down, slotting all those pins into all those holes, and it should just drop down. It should feel snug. It should feel like it's in there, and you can give it a little wiggle to make sure that it's fully down. Looks
Okay,
good.
it's in there.
And then you take the lever and you just push it back to where it was. There will be a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Don't let it scare you though.
So let's
And once it locks,
close
once the lever
that.
locks back into place, voila,
I
you've
move-
just installed a CPU. Now some CPUs, including the one that we're using today,
scared me.
come included with a stock cooler. And this one in
Get your home Ramadan ready with Irving Company. Up to 35% off on Irving Company part-time cleaning.
Nope. I'm doing this the right way.
Munza.com makes GANs great again. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say again because they never were, and they're complicated. See, with Munza.com, making a Gantt chart is as simple as throwing your process or project stages here, adding owners and timelines and whatever other details you need here, and then, boom, you got Gantt. And it has all the features you've always wanted. Way much better. Like, for example, if there's a delay at this stage, I can just update it.
Oh,
But not everyone you work with wants
What
to
I
use a
need to
GAN.
do is I need to close
And with
the
Minder.com,
flap.
they don't have to, because they can view and manage the same workflows and data, but in the way they want. Now your work is really centralized, so you can achieve more in less time with less hassle. Now that's progress, because Monday.com makes GANs great.
Why is
Make
that
one
thing
yourself
loose, though?
in minutes.
Is it
It's free to
supposed to be?
try. You don't even need a credit card.
I see. But this thing doesn't feel very snug. It's not supposed to
This
be.
one in particular comes with the AMD Wraith Spire, which is a fantastic stock cooler, but we're using something a little bit better. We're using that Noctua cooler that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, so we actually don't need these mounting bars. These mounting bars on either side of the socket, those are for the stock cooler, but we don't need those. We want to make way for the Noctua cooler bracket, so we're going to actually remove these by these mounting bars. These mounting bars on either side of the socket, those are for the
Okay. Okay, so it says that I put the flap down. And when you put the flap down, this thing pops out, which it did. But is this supposed to be so loose? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I would imagine this is supposed to hold it down. If I force it, I hope I don't break it. That does hold it in place pretty well, actually. I hope I'm doing this the right way. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to assume I did it the right way and move on.
for the stock cooler, but we don't need those. We want to make way for the Noctua cooler bracket, so we're going to actually remove these by unscrewing each of the screws. There's 2 screws on either side, and upon removing them, the mounting bracket should pop off just like that. Do the same thing for the other side. So we are going to want to keep the AM4 backplate in place because that's how we're going to mount our third-party air cooler here. And this is where things get a little tricky because there's no standard method for installing CPU coolers. It all sort of differs based on the manufacturer. This Noctua cooler installation will be vastly different than an NZXT cooler versus a Thermaltake cooler versus a Phanteks cooler, a Corsair cooler, and so forth.
Right, so I need to directly jump onto installing the cooling supply now. Alright, let's look at the table of contents. Install the CPU fan and heatsink, install the memory modules, connect the front panel header, installing the motherboard, install SATA drives, install graphics card, connect the peripheral devices, connecting power connectors, power on, jumper setup, onboard headers and connectors, post status checker, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I guess I need to install the cooling supply now. Huh. I'm not sure I fully understand that part, but we're at least gonna unbox the cooling supply and see what it says about its installation. Be right back. So what I have now in my hand is the 240mm liquid CPU cooler from Deepcool. I'm going to unbox it. This is what it looks like. But I need the paper cutter, which I don't know where I parked. Did I put it back there? Nope. There it is. suppose this one will slide out. Oh, it's taped here. What? Yeah, I got it. Okay. So that is quite heavy. After we've assembled some stuff on this. Okay, I hope this also has a user manual which tells me what to do. Information and support. What does this one have? Intel and AMD. Also, this one goes with both, which makes sense. Okay. Okay, so for Intel, I need specific type of bracket thingies and some screws. And then it gets attached to what looks like the bottom of the motherboard. And then there's a box into which the pump or the fan thingy goes. I'm using very technical terminologies here, by the way, so it's okay if you don't understand some of it. And then there are what? Didn't we already cover this part on the last page? Or is this just a difference of okay, I see. Different type of motherboard chipsets will have different setups. I believe this is the one that I have. It is LGA 1700. Double check real quick. Go to 1.2, the specifications. Yeah, I have an LGA 1700, so that's the one that's going to apply to me. Okay, so what I need to do is, this doesn't feel like such an early step though. Okay, so what it needs me to do is, I need to put 4 screws here, right in these sockets. That's going to attach to a bracket that holds the whole thing in place. And then we're going to put the cooling thingy into the box thingy, attach it with the brackets, put 4 screws in. Then I guess invert the whole thing. Put 4 more screws. And then we're done. I guess those were the only relevant pages for an LGA 1700 setup. But wait, there is more. There is fan and radiator later on. That probably gets attached to my case, not to the motherboard, right? And then there is the tube comb. So the tubes get attached to... Okay, I guess I'm going to have to take these parts out to understand. We don't need this right now, but we will need to keep this safely, just in case. Okay, what do we have here? So that's the bracket thingy that's gonna hold the attached to the motherboard right below the CPU. Wait, didn't he put some glue on his CPU?
So we actually don't need these back into place. You take the lever and you just push it snug. It should feel like it's in there, and you can
This
give
is
it a little
mostly the
wiggle to make
brackets
sure that
and
it's fully down. Looks good.
Screws.
And then you take the lever and you just push it back to where it was. There will be a little bit of pressure. Don't let it scare you though. And once the lever locks back into place, voila, you've just
And you have
installed
two fans,
a CPU. Now some CPUs, including the one that we're using today, come included
which we're
with
gonna
a
attach
stock
to
cooler.
this thing.
And
I
this one in
would
particular
imagine,
comes with the AMD Wraith
which has
Spire,
two
which is a
tubes
fantastic
attached
stock
to
cooler.
it.
But we're using something a little bit better. We're using that Noctua cooler that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video. So we actually don't need these mounting bars. These mounting bars on either side of the
Which in
socket, those
turn-
are for the stock cooler, but we don't need those. We want to make way for the Noctua cooler bracket Spire, which is a fantastic stock. Once the lever locks back into place, voila, you've just installed a CPU. Now some CPUs, including the one that we're using today, come included with a stock cooler. And this one in particular comes with the AMD Wraith Spire, which is a fantastic stock cooler, but we're using something a little bit better. We're using that Noctua cooler that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, so we actually don't need these mounting bars. These mounting bars on either side of the socket, those are for the stock cooler, but we don't need those. We want to make way for the Noctua cooler bracket. So we're going to actually remove these by
How
unscrewing
do I take these out?
each of the screws. There's two screws on either a CPU. Now some CPUs, including the one that we're using today, come included with a stock.
Ah, I see what confused me. Now I understand. This manual, this goddamn manual. See, it says you have to put this gluey thingy as a heat sink and then install a fan. But I would imagine that doesn't apply because we are using liquid cooling. Where did I put the manual for this thing? Yep, so yeah, we don't need that. Cool. So even the manual suggests that we install the fan after the CPU, but this one's fan installation is a little complicated. More importantly, I would need to get rid of these zip ties now and gain access to the bottom of the motherboard. Do we have scissors here? Did you put them here somewhere? Are they under this box? Thank you. So I'm just going to cut through these zip ties. There we go. Intel, they give stock cooler. Nope, I didn't get any stock cooler with this one actually. And fog radiator. Keep motherboard processor plastic cover safe. If claim warranty, they will ask the plastic cover. Good tip. I'm gonna keep the plastic cover, the box, everything with me. Specifically the plastic cover that goes on top of the CPU thingy, right? That's definitely needed. It's a good thing they ASRock actually mentioned that in the manual as well. Like it specifically calls out that if you need any after sales service, you have to make sure that once you remove the CPU, you put that plastic cap back on. Oh my god, this is such a difficult piece of machinery to hold. I'm super nervous when handling it. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Okay, so my cooler says that I need to first do what? What does this even mean? Like stretch it out? What? I mean, this already has the screws in there, so what do they want me to do? Is there like a directional thing? It looks pretty symmetrical to me. Okay, I don't really notice any difference in any of the sides, so I'm just gonna put it in randomly, I guess. Right, so what I need to do is call in live. When did you start streaming on Twitch? Welcome to the stream. I don't really remember, mate. I mean, I think it must be like at least 1.5, 2 years maybe. I don't really remember. Okay, so I see. These things slide out. No, but I don't need to take them out completely, I would imagine. It have doubts in product how to install cooler. Put name cooler on YouTube, some install, check it out, easy to put. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that actually, because I don't want to mess this up. These are not cheap components we're dealing with here. Deep cool, what's this one called? Damn it. LT520. LT520. 240 setup. Oh, I should have searched this on YouTube actually. Unboxing and installation. 14-minute video, but we're gonna skip through it.
Companies of all sizes use BigQuery to uncover new insights from their data.
Hey, Allgreen,
like
welcome to the
cost
stream.
savings,
What are we building
operational
today?
efficiencies,
My
and
first
new ways
PC
to
actually.
grow revenue. BigQuery
come
is
on.
Google Cloud's
Right, so this
We've
is
only
the
just
LG
begun. I've only put in
520
the
Deep Cool
CPU into the motherboard yet.
with CPU
And
cooler,
as you can imagine, I am proceeding with caution, so I'm going a little slow.
2011.
Alright, we know the specifications, bro, so I'm gonna skip
So,
forward.
all right, so
Yep, we know what parts we have.
and
Let's start with the installation.
I'm not gonna be. And the ones we are.
Wait, so
These-
which one does
Eh.
is he using? He seems to be using Intel, if I'm not wrong.
That was. Fit the socket. Oh wait, it actually just fits in. Well, that was easy. Supposed to grab the ones that say 1700. These are the ones that look like this.
Okay, I think this guy is also following just the manual, right? I can walk you through it. Mind telling me what the specs are? Sure. I mean, what I have here is an ASRock Z790 LTA 1700 motherboard. I've already put in the i7 13th gen CPU in. Now I'm basically understanding that the next step is to install the cooling supply or the entire cooling setup. So I'm supposed to take this bracket as per this manual and put it behind the motherboard, right over that doesn't go in that well actually. Well, is it stuck? No, we're okay. i7 13K CPU, ASRock motherboard, RAM 32GB. Also, don't wear socks. I'm not. Thanks for the tip. I'm actually barefoot. You know what? I'm gonna see if this fits in and if I need to adjust this a little bit. So this thing is okay. This thing is also okay. I just need to stretch this out a little bit. Okay. So these things are adjustable and they click into the place. That's what the manual meant. That's what they wanted me to do. Let's see if that works. Actually, I can measure it right here. Yep, this seems to work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, whoa, I'm not holding this very carefully. Slide this thing in like so. And then I'm gonna put it back down. Into the little casing you go. Okay, so that's the first step. That wasn't difficult. Alright, let's get the screws and stuff. Remove the foam, just use the motherboard box. Really? I mean, yeah, it would make maneuvering around it a little easier, I would imagine. Like I could place the motherboard directly into this box instead of on top of the foam. Maybe I'll close it and then put it on top. There we go. We took out everything that was inside it below the casing, right? Cool. Oh yeah. We did. Cool. I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. Can I lift this? Doesn't work very well if I lift it actually. Let's see, is that better? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the foam. Everything do same use box, okay? No, it's fine. I think we have good visibility. Alright, will you be able to access the NVMe after installing the cooler? I have no idea what an NVMe is. Can you help me understand what that means? Okay. Yeah, I am using an SSD. It's a 2 GB SSD. I think so. I have M.2 SSD drive. Yeah, so I think these are the RAM sockets, because it did say that this one comes with 4 RAM sockets, and I'm guessing the SSD will go somewhere over there. Anyway, I think that comes later, right? You might not be able to get good access to the M.2 slot after installing the cooler. It's covered. That's the RAM. There can be 2 slots for the NVMe. Okay. I'm going to have to figure out which slots those are then. Oh wait, I can figure that out. I have a manual right here. Let's see. It may have a heatsink over it. That's complicating it a little bit, but I am going with the liquid cooler. Do I still need a heatsink? Okay, I see the SATA 3 connectors. There is an DDR5 slot is for RAM, addressable LED header, pump fan connector, power connector, SATA 3 connector. We're looking for this, not this one. Where the hell is it? Alright, I'm being a total noob, I understand. Heatsink already, they gave its cover called heatsink. What's the exact model of the motherboard? Right, so it's an ASRock Z790 PG. But the manual does suggest that I should install the cooling setup right after installing the CPU fan. And then we move on to memory modules, which is RAM, of course, but also my advice, stop building blind. Watch PC build finish video. No, I'm going along with the video. That's what the guy suggested. But see, I agree that he does everything in the video, but he's not using a liquid cooler, is what I understand.
Cooler. And this one in particular comes with the AMD Wraith Spire, which is a fantastic
and he
stock
says
cooler.
that I should
We're using something a little bit better.
do
We're
the
using that
CPU
Noctua cooler that I
cooler
mentioned earlier at the beginning of the
installation
video. So we actually don't need these
after
mounting bars. These mounting bars on either side of the socket,
installing
those are
the
for the stock cooler, but we don't need those. We want to make way for the Noctua cooler bracket. So we're gonna.
So what am I missing? Watch some builds from start to end. Use your motherboard model, then start. Alright, that's a good advice. Cool, I'm gonna do that. Let's see if we have our operating system ready then. Alright, but I'm not gonna watch the whole video on stream then, guys. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the stream. I'm gonna watch the video and then I'm gonna do this tomorrow. After office hours at my own time. Best to build that way. It's good. All right. Thanks for the tips, guys. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop the stream and then we're gonna resume tomorrow from where we left off. I watched 10 times. Also, the RAM slots aren't random if you're using 2 sticks. I am using 2 sticks actually. Cool. I'm gonna do a little more research. Thanks for the help, Wolverine. I appreciate it, and Punk4306. I appreciate you guys joining the stream and helping me out with this for the advice as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.